Good morning, everybody. I am not sure what was going on. I started a live twice, and it just didn't take. And I was like, wow, it's been a minute since I was sitting at my desk at 11 when I could do my live like normal, and I was all excited to be on my computer. And no, my computer, Google, Chrome, Safari, all of them had totally different ideas, which is par for the course. I read something about where I listened to some of the transitions energetically that are going on, and Mercury is currently dancing with Mars in Aries, which will make communication fiery. But because of the placements of other things like Neptune, which is unknown, and Pluto, which is a disruptor, and how it's squaring, going up against, fighting with Uranus. Anyway, regardless, they were basically like, expect things to blow up fiery and passionately and be just not at all what you think they're going to be. Good things like the patriarchy, and also like just everyday communication, like my live. So here we are, and I am living the like energetic changes that happen, like they happen for me in real time. So if you need a litmus of what you might be going through in the next whatever, pay attention to my life and what's going on, which is sort of the point of these lives, is like I give you a sense of like what's coming because I'm living it, and I'm like, this is up for you, so grab your hat, buckle up. To that end, this weekend I got to teach, doing my favorite things in the world is teaching at the Reese Thomas Institute. This is what I do. I do it 5 times a year. It's just this magical, amazing opportunity for me to be in front of these beautiful souls who are so willing to do such deep, deep, deep work that it blows my heart open all the time. And because it was heart chakra and fifth chakra, what we did this weekend was expand our capacity for love and understanding and like emotion. But that meant I had to have my I had my really amazing upgrading healing last Monday, and that week last week I was integrating it, and I felt so super high. So like when I came into the weekend with that energy, and I had to have my heart blown open. So Friday was hard. Like I was in it. Like I was emotional and teary and just feeling all kinds of feels. So I just had to allow myself to be in it while also holding space for my students. And so that was Friday, and then all day Saturday I would just feel these stuff come through, and I knew it was coming in to blow me open. So I would just breathe into it and feel it, and then immediately right afterwards the students would go through almost exactly what I was going through. It was like I did it, I cleared it, they went through it. And so it was like this like blink bing bing energy. And so by Sunday we were all feeling a little bit wrung out, and I was sharing with them. I said, this is what it means to be healers and consciousness leaders, and on the forefront. You will go through it first, and you, by doing so, you give other people permission to go through it, which is what I'm also saying to all of you who watch and listen and follow, is we're healers. We're going to go through it first. And so can you embrace all of it? I was speaking with a new client this morning, brand new, like this is our first session. and we went pretty deep pretty quickly, and she just was like, I don't understand why this is still up. And I was like, because it's time to stop abandoning ourselves. And our heart is the place that we've abandoned ourselves the most. It's the place where we've shut off ourselves to feeling and sadness and grief, which means we've also shut ourselves off to joy and happiness and peace. So you can't have one without the other, and it ends up being this beautiful yin and yang dance. And so as I was charging the students with this is what it means to live heart open, and can you do that in a world that isn't quite ready for it yet? And that's a tall ask, but we signed up for it. We signed up to be here to do this work. And I read for them a passage from a book called the Radiance Sutras. It was written as a translation of ancient Sanskrit text by a man named Lauren Roach. I first heard this passage when I was graduating from my coaching program, my first coaching program, way back in 2010. And my coach, my teacher, read it for us then, and it's never failed to like call me, to touch me, to reach me. So I want to read it to all of you. The Sanskrit of the text is called the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Anybody who knows more Tantra than I do, help me out with that, or Sanskrit, whatever. But Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, which Lauren Roach's interpretation of that translates to the terror and joy of realizing oneness with the soul. So just think about that for a second. Yes, there's joy when we can be one. But there's also terror in it. There's also fear, there's sadness and grief. And sometimes we have to feel the sadness and the grief of, let's say, who we were supposed to be in order to get to who we are. Like sometimes we have to go through that grief. One of the students was talking about she felt heavy-hearted. And I said, yes, because you're realizing that the old way no longer exists. And there is a grief in it. It's legitimate. And so if you try to bypass that grief or sadness or terror, the word courage comes from the French word coeur, which means heart. You cannot do this work without heart, without courage, without your heart getting broken wide open. The joy of realizing, but also the terror of realizing oneness with the soul. So here's the passage. The one who is at play everywhere said, "There is a place in the heart where everything meets. Go there if you want to find me. Mind, senses, soul, eternity, all are there. Are you there? Enter the bowl of vastness that is the heart and give yourself to it with total abandon. Quiet ecstasy is there, and a steady, regal sense of resting in the perfect place. Once you know the way, the nature of attention will call you to return again and again and be saturated in the knowing that I belong here. I am at home here. Answer that call. Again, it never ceases to bring me to almost tears of like that. Once you know the way, you can't not find it. You can't not know it. The nature of attention calls you to return over and over and over again. Sometimes finding the way is the hard part, but once you know the way, you belong. And so this is the crux. It's like I said, I heard this passage for the first time in 2010, and that was the first moment that I can tell you with certainty that I had a conviction of what my mission was. I've always suspected it, but at that moment when I was 35, I needed to know. I was like, this is what I'm supposed to do. This is what I'm supposed to teach people. It took me years to get back to my own heart. It took me years to stay there. Like years, man. I think, shit, might have been 45. Like, it might have took me another 10 years to be able to get there and stay there. And still I get knocked off course sometimes, right? But like, once you know the way, the nature of attention calls you to return again and again. And this is the work. We come back to our hearts. We come back to our center. We come back to our core. And we sit in the places that are both terrifying and joyful in equal measure. And we sit there and we breathe through it, and we experience all of it as love. And then from that place, there's a solidity, there's a ground, there's a natural saturation of, I'm home. And that can never be taken away. Life is going to get messy. We're entering into eclipse season, which it's like a all bets are off kind of thing. This last full moon that was yesterday was a big deal. We can go back to 23. We can go back there's some stuff in this new moon that we won't. This was they called it a super full moon. I mean, a new moon. The words we speak are what we're creating. And our heart has to lead the way. Our heart has to inform our speech. Because the words we speak are spells. Can we just, for today, embrace one more degree of the vastness of the heart? Can we be in that expansion where everything meets? Which is the only place you will ever find happiness, joy, peace, all of it, eternity. It's all, the heart is the doorway to the soul. Right behind the heart is the soul. So if you close yourself off to your heart, now you close yourself off to your soul, your experience, your senses, all of it. And then it's just your head running the show, and your head is terrified. It thinks it's dying every minute of every day, and it's constantly trying to find ways to keep us alive, which keeps us in fight or flight or stress all the time. So can you get to that steady, regal sense of resting in the perfect place by going into your heart and feeling what's in there? And it may be painful, sure. It's going to break your heart open. It may be sad, it may be grief, it may be all those things. We got to let them move through. We got to let them just energy and emotion. We got to let them move through. It may flood you. You may cry your heart out. Great. At the end of it is the quiet ecstasy and the steady, regal sense of resting in the perfect place. So this is your call. Please answer it. To that end, I have a class on March 23rd. Please join us for it. I think there's probably 5 more spots left. We're gonna do some work. We're gonna do meditations. We're gonna see what it means to live the joy and terror of realizing oneness with the soul. I'm gonna give you tools and resources. We'll do meditations. We'll do exercises. It's a workshop to help you start living from your heart more often, creating the world you want to live in, planting happiness. The decisions we make today inform tomorrow. So what do you want to plant today? That's what we're going to do on the 23rd. So please join us for that workshop. It's a pretty low cost for you workshop, and it's under $50. But if you can't afford that, talk to me. We'll make it work. We'll figure out a payment plan, whatever. But absolutely come on March 23rd. And then in the springtime, I'm still working out the details, but it's going to be a 6-week class on spirituality, consciousness. What does it mean to be a consciousness being in a world that is largely unconscious? So again, tips, tricks, how to work with your guides. Who are you in the world before they told you who you're supposed to be, and how do you do that with total abandon? So that's coming. probably late April. Again, I still have to work out some of the details, but probably late April, 6 weeks, late April, early May, right to the beginning of the summer. And then on the heels of that is going to be an archetype course. So archetypes are global patterns of energy, and we all have 12 archetypes, but the 4 that we're going to focus on in this mini course are the child, the victim, the prostitute, and the saboteur. I have a whole video series on all of those, which I will share with you. So pay attention to those things. That's coming. I have the workshop on the 23rd, which is, again, no brainer. I have the 6-week class starting late April. It'll probably be I think it'll be Wednesdays. It might be Thursdays. And then shortly afterwards is the archetype class. So all of these things are designed to help you come into relationship with yourself, come into relationship with the universe, come into the world that you want to co-create together. All of that is coming. The other thing is, it is my birthday month, and this is my birthday celebration. We do have a celebration at the end of the month for my birthday. But if you invite people into my group and share this work with them, then into our group, not even my group, our group. If you invite people into our group and they come in, then you get entered into a raffle. So to that end, I have my sorting hat here. Can you see my sorting hat? Of course I do, because I love, despite what we think about Joe Rowling, the books themselves were amazing. So a couple people invited people into the group this week, and so what you are winning this week is a 1-month basic membership for the Phoenix Rising Healings membership site. So this is Becca. So I know, Becca, you invited people in like a week before the thing started, but I put you in because you invited so many people in. So Becca, you get a free month for the Phoenix Rising Healings membership site. So touch base with me and I will give you the code for that. And you can sign up, and in there is the monthly channeled energetic reading, old archived classes, the group healing, all of the old group healings. There is meditations in there. There's just, and I add stuff constantly. As I do stuff, I add it to the membership site. So like I'm constantly adding, and you'll just have a whole chance to explore that for the whole month, do whatever you want. There's lots of stuff in there. So congratulations and thank you. And if you keep inviting people in, you will keep being, I don't take those names out. I'm just going to keep adding. So every time you invite someone in, it's just another entry into the pot, so that you can win. What I'm going to be giving away is the next level up of the membership, which also includes a master class once a month, and a 30-minute laser session with me, and also a one-on-one session with me. So there's some prizes coming this week. Please invite your friends. Please share this work. Please, please, please be as open and heart-centered as you possibly can today. Mwah! Have a great day.